The miracle of life, pregnancy. It's funny, right? Well, we found out from watching Pregnant the web series, and we're talking to the creator today here on the Fly Filmmaking.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Hey everybody, Marielou Mandl here. We are opening with Oops, I Did It Again, which will make more sense later on. It'll make more sense. But I'm talking with Kristen Dellapace and Keetin Marchi of Pregnant the web series. Thank you so much for joining me, ladies. Let everyone know where they can find you on the internet.
You can find me on Instagram at itsKDP, and on Facebook, Kristen Dellapace Keetin, as well as Pregnant the web series on Facebook.
You guys can find me all over the interwebs at Keetin Marchi.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Just Google Kristen Dellapace. That might be better.
Yeah, and you can find me all over the internet
pregnantthewebseries.com.
at Marielou Mandl. I'm available on just that name, but you might have to look it up because it's spelled weird. Because
You're unique.
We have no choice.
Be an individual.
Here I am. Awesome. So I'm excited to talk to you guys about this web series. If you guys are interested in watching it, if you go to Pregnant the web series, there's episodes available there along with a very fun parody music video, some behind the scenes, and some bloopers. Lots of really fun information on that website, and you can also find it in a few other places. I think we're pushing on Facebook now.
Yeah.
Yeah? Why not? We were talking social media beforehand. I think I talk every episode I talk to these filmmakers, I'm like, you need an Instagram because I'm like social media obsessed, and I think it's a really good marketing tool. So we'll talk more about that if you have more questions. But I want to get to know about you both, about your life before this web series. So
Before I was famous.
before you were famous.
Yeah.
Before you hit it big.
Yeah, before I hit it big, I was just an actress.
Yeah. So
And
how long
then
have you been in LA?
That's not a weird question, but a complicated question
Yeah.
for me.
Okay. Because you live in, you're like tri-coastal.
Sort
Kind
of.
of.
Yeah. Well, just my circumstance. So I started off in LA 8 years ago.
Okay.
And then I lived in London for 3 years and worked there. Because my husband.
London.
Yeah,
I used to live in London too.
That's right. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. So lived there for 3 years while my husband was doing a PhD. So worked there for a little bit, and then we tried to move to New York, but just got pushed back out to LA. So here I am again.
Yeah.
We moved back out here literally 3 days into our crowdfunding.
Okay.
So it was like while all this was happening, we moved back out here.
Right, so you were just like, you're moving, you're pregnant, you're making a web series. It's a lot to take on, guys.
Why not?
Yeah.
She's a queen, ladies and gentlemen. She's a queen.
Yes. All right. And Keetin, you're an actress. You're also a host here at AfterBuzz
am.
Popcorn Talk. So
I know.
This is your first time on the other side of the interview. Huh?
It is. This is very exciting. Thank you for letting me sit next to you.
Oh, please. Thank you.
I'm an actress and a host, and lived in LA for going on 6 years in May, which is kind of crazy. But I started behind the camera and did producing, and I do a lot of wardrobe styling, and so I still do a lot of my own content.
Yeah.
But, yeah, loving when I get to talk about my acting stuff, because that's where my heart is right now.
Yeah.
And she's awesome at it. She's amazing.
Yeah, it's the way of the world now. If you want to be in front of the camera, you better know how to work behind the camera too.
Preach.
Yeah.
You might not have to do everything, but you have to, a basic understanding of it will really get you ahead in the game, because so much of the world today is creating your own content, because there's lots of stuff out there, but if you can make your own stuff, you're golden.
Yeah. You can hire yourself.
Yeah, all the time.
Basically. It's like, I want to be in this type of thing. I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
And you do.
Like, I want to have my own talk show.
And there you
Here
go.
we are.
And we're listening to you.
Here we are.
We're
Awesome.
on it, actually.
You're more than an audience. You're actually on it. I don't know if you realize that today. Awesome. Okay, so then let's talk about, prior to this, have you done any other web series that you've produced?
I did a really, really bad web series years ago because I was trying to figure it out.
Nope.
Yeah, nope. Not on. It's no longer on the internet.
Okay.
Actually, I have quite a few family members that would be disappointed if I didn't mention it. Sheila with the Facts. It was like a character that I did along with Eager Beaver Weekly Show. So I will say it, just because my mom would be disappointed if I didn't.
But they're not out in the world right now.
No, the quality is so good
Yeah.
that I had to leave.
Screw you, HD. You ruined it for all of us.
Yeah, no, so I tried, I dabbled a little bit, and then I made a short film when I was in London. I kind of wanted just to figure out what I wanted to, did I like writing, did I like directing, producing, whatever.
Yeah.
So that was more for me, that was like I consider that like my thesis project.
Totally.
Like, where you could just mess up and figure out what you want.
And I love that. And I love that you do that. This is something that I recommend to people all the time. They're like, I want to be a filmmaker. I want to be a content creator. And I'm like, well, just try a few things. Because your first few things you're going to do are going to be shit.
So bad.
They're just going to be shit. That's just how it is. Like, even now, like, I've been doing this show for like 30 episodes. Still, like, we're being
That's
a
why
mess.
film school's so. If you go to film school, it's great. Like everything you make is gonna suck, but you're gonna make stuff. Which is like that's where you learn.
Yeah, definitely. And then even if like not everybody who's watching this gets to go to film school, you go to film school, great. You mess up there or mess up on your own. Grab your phone, go film something, and you're learning. Every time you do something, you're learning a little bit more. So both of those other projects you did, I'm sure you learned a lot.
A ton, yeah,
that you
yeah.
used for this one.
Yeah, what not to do
Yeah.
on this project.
Well, what are a few of those things? Anything come to mind?
Yeah, like totally invest, make, crowdfund if you can. Like invest the money, invest in like the cameras or the people that will find people to be a part of your project that will make it outstanding. Don't do it all yourself.
Yeah.
And then also like, yeah, get people on board that just love what you're doing, your idea. And I think I learned those two things. Yeah, don't wear all the hats. That's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, I think that's a really good piece of advice because a lot of people want to do it all. And I guess when you're learning, right, you're like, okay, fine, I want to try this. You figure out what is the thing that you shine the most at. But, films are a collaborative process. Let people do what they're good at. People who are like professionally holding the audio, like, let them do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because I've definitely produced my own web series, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm gonna hold the boom now. You're gonna be in the shot, okay? But like, I'm in it, so like, let's tape it to the ceiling.
I mean, we did have a little bit of that. I'm not gonna lie. We
which
had to
is
do
totally
a little bit
fine.
of that on this.
Oh my God, the one day that we shot in the park. Yep.
Yep. Good times, great oldies.
Yes.
Yeah, there's so many. Yeah, I mean, there's still going to be that until I guess you get somebody that's like, here's $1 million to make what you want to make.
Yeah, but you were able to raise some money for this project so that you can see it in the quality of it. So I want to start talking about Pregnant the web series, but let's watch a video about it.
Val, it's Val, isn't it? I'm worried about your baby.
You have nothing to be worried about. I eat every 2 to 3 minutes.
Hours? You eat every 2 to 3 hours?
Hours. I meant hours. Can you imagine?
So funny. And if you guys want to watch these episodes, they are available online to watch. There's 4 about 5-minute episodes and a fun music video parody, plus behind the scenes and some bloopers that you guys should definitely check out.
The
So
website is super cute too, by the way. The website you built is
thank you.
amazing. It's super cute.
yeah, it's really, really cute. And like your branding across the board is really, really wonderful. So talk to me about where this came to be, this concept.
Okay, so my writing partner and I sound so official, but really
Yeah.
just my friend who's a good writer and I wanted to become a good writer, Jess Ardrey. I was like, hey, you want to write with me? Because she's an editor at a magazine. So she agreed. And so we were actually finishing up a different web series almost this week last year. And then I found out I was pregnant. And I was like, oh, can't make this right now. We're gonna have to do something else. And so then I got in touch with my friend who's just like a production guru, Erin Stegeman. And she was talking me through, I was like, can we make the web series we already wrote? Can we do it? Like, what are our options here? And she was like, why are you so focused on that? Take that character that you've already written, Val, and just go with the pregnancy thing. Like, just do a totally different, like, just like focus on what you got, like use what you've got, type of thing. And so that's what we did. So we kind of just like took the character from the original web series and then made this because that's what we had to work with. Yeah,
It's clever.
So, yeah, and it's definitely a different, like the other web series was more of like a linear story, and this is definitely more slice of life. And it ended up being a totally different thing. But it was nice groundwork for this series.
Yeah, and I really like the concept of this because we've got the same character in all 4 episodes. We're following Val, who is, 6 months pregnant is what we're aiming at with this character.
Yeah, 6 to 8
Yeah,
months.
so she's like real pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just in the beginning
heavily,
of it.
uncomfortably pregnant.
Yes, and
Yes.
then we get to see all of these little slices of life of being pregnant, which like just terrifies me. Like pregnancy terrifies me, and this did not help the case.
No, I'm sure it
but
didn't.
gathering that kind of information. So this was your second pregnancy.
Yeah.
Were a lot of these from your own life? I'm assuming.
Not really. A little bit, but it's more, I just thought, what's like worst case scenario here?
Yeah.
That I feel like a lot of people go through. I mean, some of it is, like, for example, some of it is real. Like, there was this one lady that I met who told me, she was like 80 years old. She told me that she was sliced with a knife from her navel to her breastbone.
I was hoping that was the real one.
That was legitimately real.
I was hoping that was the real one because it's so like out there,
outlandish.
like that you're like, yes,
No.
definitely.
Yeah, and
Oh my God.
because she had to get a C-section in Africa, and so I was like, oh, hey, thanks for that information. But I think it's like these general waves of like weirdness that happen that, because like I wasn't in a yoga class with fancy ladies, but I have been in a yoga class with fancy ladies, just not pregnant, you know, but just
And
like,
it is like that.
it's like that. Where you're
Yeah.
just like, everybody knows what they're doing, but not me. But yeah, so some of it's real, and then some of it's just like, what's like the funniest thing that could happen in this situation?
Yeah, it's great. I really like that. So that with this old lady is in the episode called Nunya. So
Yes.
definitely check that out. That was the first one that I watched.
Yeah.
And like all of these different things. Like when I get around a pregnant lady, I'm just like, I don't know if I can say anything. I don't want to like make eye contact. I just don't know what to do.
I just feel like I'm gonna
We're
break
monsters.
them.
Yeah.
I'm like I get very, very nervous about that. Like,
Really?
You are a very fragile glass case.
like I
Like-
don't want to insult you, hurt you, do anything.
Yeah, because every woman's different, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like what they consider to be rude, or
Yeah, and like you were doing the work of the world, like you're doing the work of the universe. Like I cannot. I'm
You're
gonna stay out of your
creating
way.
another human being. There's an alien inside
Yeah.
of you growing.
Yeah, I'm just happy if I get an Instagram post up. So I'm like, I don't know. So
they're
yeah,
the same thing.
yeah, is it?
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, I still cry just as much. Yeah. So with that, you guys made this web series, and then where were you in your pregnancy to when you started actually shooting? Because with that, like you do have like a time frame. There's like, it's not like we can write
Yeah.
this week and like, oh, maybe we'll shoot it next year because you like need to be pregnant.
Yeah, definitely.
Or
There's-
like, I mean, you could always wear a fake thing.
yeah, but it wouldn't be as
not the
authentic,
same.
right? So I kind of get a little hazy on the writing. I think we finished that maybe in like fully finished where I was like, okay, we're putting this away now. May. We are done in May. June, we were going to start crowdfunding, but just like a family, like tragedy incident, we kind of delayed our crowdfunding. So then that's what we were going to do, but then it got kind of pushed back to actually, end of July. Going into August, we started doing crowdfunding, and then we shot Oops, I Did It Again, the parody music video, while we were crowdfunding, because crowdfunding got pushed back, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Sorry. And then we shot the whole web series. Yeah. So does that make any? And then we finished filming maybe a month before I was due.
Oh gosh, I just
Yeah.
can't. Like, I'm like, you're doing so much.
I didn't think she was really pregnant the first day I walked on set and like met her. I was because I was given a pregnant belly, so I assumed her belly was a pregnant belly.
Yeah.
And then I've come to find, like, offhand, somebody said something about her being pregnant, and I was like, holy! And she's producing, like, and directing, and like, doing all this stuff. I know you didn't direct it, but like, directing the whole kind of production of it. So it was just kind of like, you are phenomenal, because I can barely do this when I'm not pregnant.
Yeah, but I don't know. You just do what you gotta do, right?
And I know the one episode like definitely looks like it's in New York. Were they all in New York?
Yeah, no. So one was in Central Park.
Okay.
So yeah, because everything got like messed up, and we also didn't know if we were moving to LA. Blah blah blah. So this is all actually supposed to be set in New York. And we shot that one in Central Park 2 days before we started fundraising, and then we moved out to LA, and then because I was like really bent on it being in New York in Central Park, because I was like, where are we gonna film an outdoor park scene like that's supposed to be set? Like Griffith Park won't work. You can't shoot in Griffith Park.
Yeah, and I was curious about how you could shoot in Central Park.
They
just don't care. They just aren't looking at you.
Also, we started super early in the morning.
Okay.
But I mean, like, we were there all day. So, I mean, like, yeah, they didn't care. Maybe if we had more, like how we were in downtown LA. So, yeah. So, to answer your question, though, we shot one episode in New York right before we fundraised and moved out to LA. And then we finished the rest of the series when we were out here. But when we were in downtown LA, it was like a whole different ballgame. They cared. They so cared about us.
Crazy in LA about filming.
I forgot about that because we had just filmed in Central Park.
New Yorkers give none, and just because they're all focused on what they're doing. And LA, I feel like everybody's so nosy, like whether you're a tourist or just like you're, seeing who's in the room, just because everybody's trying to like get to the next step. So it's oh, is that a pretty, So it's like everybody here is just innately nosy, and so if you look like you're doing anything out of the normal, I feel like people inquire.
Yeah, but they like what they had us do is just like pare down our gear. Like basically, if you didn't look official in any way, shape, or form, they would let you do it. But we were filming in Central Park on a GoPro. Yeah. With my iPhone on a pole. Yeah. So maybe if we actually had legit equipment, maybe they would care more. Yeah. But I don't know. I think it's actually completely legal to shoot in New York as long as you're not obstructing walkways or something. Yeah. But yeah, LA, I find that to be really sad about LA though. It's like such a, like this like community is like all about making art, and it's like the city doesn't really support it.
Yeah, they definitely want to put as many roadblocks, but it also makes you more creative because you have to be a little sneaky.
Oh yeah.
Like I've done so many sneaky shoots that, it doesn't even faze me.
Or just for the LA film, or you get permission and you have you contact LA Film and they give you written permission and you get and everything, you get all the contract signed, so you have insurance and all that stuff. It costs money.
But you should do it.
You're not a student, but you should.
You should.
Yes.
I agree, you should, but I actually totally legitimately forgot because we had just filmed in New York.
And it was a public park.
Yeah.
Which is also weird. So it's you just don't think
and we
about
actually,
these things.
now that we have to backtrack, I would like to say once we pared down our gear, we got permission from security, we were all clear. So anyways, but yeah, it was a little bit complicated.
Yeah, so you shot this in 2 different cities and you did this crowdfunding. So I want to talk a little bit about the crowdfunding because I know that led to your being able to cast legitimately. Yeah. No, you ran into somebody that was a casting director.
Yeah.
It was not because of the crowdfunding. Okay, so let's talk about that first. So you ran into a friend that was a casting director.
Well, so some people or like crew or even like cast I knew personally, and then like when we started really getting down to it, some of these episodes had just too many people and people of ages that I didn't even know. Yeah. And Neely Gurman is the casting director, and she has a little baby, and she was like, "Hey, you just moved in town. Why don't we just meet up for coffee or whatever?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then we got to talking, and she was like, "Well, you can, like I'll help you." Basically, she helped me out and let me get on her Casting Call Pro account, and she was helping me out casting this project. And essentially, I just cast off of reels. Okay. I just put out what I wanted because the turnaround was so fast. And so, yeah, it was interesting being on the other side.
Yeah. How did you get Keetin involved?
Keetin actually got involved. So
randomly.
Actually, so randomly. So Luke Fisher, our sound op, I was like, I need somebody who's really pretty and really funny. And he's like, I might know somebody. And I was like, well, I need to see their stuff before I just give them. I was like, I need to vet this because everybody thinks different things are funny. But then I watched her stuff and I was like, oops, sorry. My foot might be touching something. Sorry about that. I checked out her stuff and I was like, yes, this girl is on it. So that's how got a hold of Keetin, was through our sound op, who they've known for years.
Yeah,
you guys have known each other.
I've worked with the sound guy, Luke Fisher. We went to film school together and took classes with him. Him and my boyfriend were really, really good friends in college, and I've been an actor in his projects, like film school projects.
Why aren't they good friends anymore?
I think they are. We are still good friends. Luke,
I just want to talk about that.
I don't know, Della and Luke. I don't know. We should call it out. They don't hang out as much as they
totally
used to.
kidding. I know nothing about that
Luke
relationship.
did do sound
Some
for another
bromance
project
drama.
I did.
Just kidding. I know nothing. I know nothing.
No, it was just funny because it was such a random thing, and I find a lot of the things I've gotten cast in more recently are a lot just off my reel. It's like I finished my reel, and then I started getting like friends of friends who like are either like an AD or a producer or something, just being like, Keetin, send me your reel, like there might be a part for you, and then like they pick me, and I'm like, oh, this is what it feels like. This is great
Because you're good.
Oh, no, thank you, but it was so random, and then just like he was like, okay, be here. It was very short notice too, I think.
Yeah, everything was short notice.
Yeah, but when you're an actor or anything in the film industry, like when people ask you to play, like as an actor, like you're like, yes, you're like, you always need to kind of be ready to play. And anytime I'm available to do something like that, like especially for a project like this, and I just dyed my hair red too, so I was like, yes, step for my reel with red hair.
I told you to be pregnant.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's just like you get so excited to meet new people, to work with new people, and especially comedy. And when I read it, I was like, this is so much fun. And it's always, I was kind of like the bitchy villain, so
yes,
it's
so good
really, really fun to kind of be the villain more so than be kind of like the nice sweet girl. So and I hadn't gotten to do that in a while. So thank you.
No, and I will say that too, that like what was so nice about working with you is just that like you were open to try anything, and you were like game, and like also it's easy to get in contact with you, and like I don't know, I just took some of the things that you did, and like Ace Marrero, he plays my husband in it, in a different episode, like I don't know, there's just like some sort of different actors that really stand out to you because they're so excited and game just to act and like be present and be there, and that was really fun. I don't know, I'm taking like a few notes out of you guys' notebooks because it was nice working with you guys. Not that it wasn't with other people, but it was really nice working with you guys. And
I think basically she's saying you're her favorite.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's a few other actors in this.
Do I get a gold star?
But also I will say my brother is the editor of this, and he couldn't, like, he was like, this girl's amazing. Like she's legitimately like super funny. So I think all around, people just like really enjoyed your performance.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. No, she texted me randomly. I hadn't heard from her around like Thanksgiving or something, and like everything was happening for like all my other family members and my boyfriend, and then like all of a sudden I got this this Facebook message from you like about like the editor just keeps cracking up stuff, and I was just like, validation, like just, like my boyfriend's like, are you okay? I was like, it just feels good when like you can make somebody else like what you do. As an actor, you don't get very much validation. So like when you work with somebody new and they like you and you like them, like it just feels so good because again, it's a collaborative process. And so you're like, yay, good people.
Yeah, it's great. And that's like the funnest part about doing these projects is like in the end, like you want a good product in the end, but the process of working with really good people, because so say like you guys did this, great. 10 years down the line, you might work on something that's like even more magnificent, and you wouldn't have had that connection had you not done this project. Yeah. So it's like really great, like the way that this all works. So I want to talk to you about crowdfunding now, because I think that's something that a lot of these folks will find useful, and we haven't really covered it in other episodes. So what was the process? Where did you start with that?
Okay, I started by talking to Erin, who also is kind of like my guide through a lot of this stuff. So Erin gave me so many good pointers.
And Erin did what?
So Erin is my production guru, my mentor, my friend. Erin Stegeman, hit her up. She's amazing. If you have an idea, she's
I need a guru. I'm gonna call you, Erin.
Yeah, seriously, call Erin. She takes on clients, but she's just like she's done this herself, and she's actively making things, so she knows how to do it right now, not 5 years ago or whatever. So so she gave me a lot of really good pointers. One of which was actually do your crowdfunding, involve people on a social media platform where you plan to share your project. So don't do it, because I was gonna do do it because I was like all nervous. I was going to do it privately. I was only going to do $2,000. It was going to be a small project, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, if you're going to do this, like, do
it,
this.
girl.
Like, do it publicly. Ask for $6,000. Like, if you don't get it, you don't get it, you know, that type of thing. And so it's like, all right, I'm going to do it. And so that was like the biggest thing. And then she gave me some really good tips. You know, you give perks when you're doing crowdfunding for like $50, you give something. Don't do anything that you have to spend money on is like a really good tip. Just try to be creative within the realm of like your theme. So one thing is like, so how to keep involving like Facebook. So what we kind of did was we would have nursery rhyme shout outs. If you gave like $25, we'd have nursery rhyme shout outs on Thursdays. And then if you gave $50 or more, like I would morph my face with your face and for our future baby. And like,
fun.
but in it's dumb stuff, but people don't care really to get anything. Like they just want to kind of be a part of what you're doing. And donations or contributions would significantly go up on those days. You know, so that was like a really good tip to interact with people online as much as possible. And then like definitely something that was key that she taught me was contact at least 5 people personally a day. So message them.
Oh, good. Okay, that's smart.
That's a really good note.
Yeah. But then what you find is that like one day you make $500 and the next day you make 0 and then you contact 20 people the next day because you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to end. And also I would suggest doing a short, even if you have a much larger goal than 6,000, to do a 30-day campaign because it's exhausting.
Yeah.
But also like there's like a fire in you to get it done, and you can be like, okay, we're at our halfway point, and like make it kind of fun for people, like they could get a little something because it's halfway, like or like to follow up. I don't know, it's like it's not 60 days of just you
like
online.
I feel like 1 month is a good cycle where people aren't like, oh, maybe I'll give next
Later.
time, and then they just put it off and then they
people
forget.
assume they'll just do it later. A lot of people do, and that's a little bit awkward, I will say. Like with the crowdfunding, is like you hit somebody up and they're like, yes, I'm going to, and then they don't. And I'm like, how do you like you just go back around and it's just like, hey, we have 5 days left, let's do it, you know?
And going off of that, it is having done crowdfunding and stuff, it's really hard to ask people for money, especially like in this town where, you know, a lot of us are struggling artists and, you know, we're working multiple side hustles plus what we really want to do to make ends meet, and LA is expensive. But, you know, I think like people get it in this town. Like, don't be scared. Like, even if like somebody's willing to throw you $5, it's huge. So like, and honestly, the same goes back to like you. Like, if you get a crowdfunding thing of somebody like trying to make art, and it's like a project that you look at and you're like, oh wow, this is like really good. Throw them a couple bucks. Like that means the world to people, you know, self-producing, and it what goes around comes around, especially in this town.
Yeah, and I really like this concept of like if you just received or you're giving just $5, right? So your friend is doing a crowdfunding for their project, and you're like, I'm tight for cash, but like I've got just a little bit. That more than anything is just like a buddy, I believe you're going to do a good job. Like I believe in what you're trying to make happen.
And you need it when you're crowdfunding, because it's like you're putting yourself out there, and it's a little daunting to say, hey, I'm worth, this project's worth it, like our ideas are worth it. And so and I also would say, if you're thinking about making a project but you're a little bit nervous to do crowdfunding, totally do it, own it, and like, because I never thought I would do it, you know, and like, and now that I have, you know, you just feel like, oh, like that's like another, I don't know, another step, and it's totally doable.
Yeah, and you guys promoted a lot of that through Facebook, which I think is a really smart move, because Facebook is usually where like your family connections are, and like your friends from high school and all, people that like kind of know you personally. Like I feel like on other social media might not be so personal, when you're doing this and you're it's like one of your first big projects, the people on Facebook are the ones who are immediately going to be like, yes, I want to give you like $20. Thanks, Grandma. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was like so many people that aren't actors that gave me money.
Well, because when you're sending this out to people who don't live in LA, who don't kind of maybe get all these crowdfunding or see all this all the time, they're like, oh my gosh, you are really doing it. You are out, making a website. Like to them, like to my friends in North Carolina, like who aren't in this industry, like they're like, this is so cool.
yeah. Well, because like to the rest of the world, they look at us and they're like, you're doing it. You're making it.
And we're like,
we're here.
what are we doing? What are we doing? So you've done crowdfunding then?
I've helped people with crowdfunding within like different things. I've never, now that I've started like to really start doing my own projects, I know I'm not going to be able to fund it on my own.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah, it's way too much. The other thing about crowdfunding, it's so good to hear you talk about this, is you might have to do crowdfunding for a couple projects, but then all of a sudden somebody sees your work and like really really likes your stuff, and then decides to throw you money to do more.
Yeah, but you have to like show them first.
You do.
Right?
You have to show them, and it's kind of like a pay to play thing, which is unfortunate. But
Yeah.
that's.
But I mean, like, the main thing, though, is that you're creating art and you're not paying for it anymore.
Yeah.
And that's nice. And if you're lucky, you get a little bit at the end.
Yeah. Well, and also going off of that, too, it's like, I hate, because like I've done so many projects at this point, and you might feel the same, but like when you ask your friends to do things for free, like you can only ask for so many favors before, like, and same with you as an individual with skills and talents, you can only be asked so many times to do things for free. So even if you're just throwing, like if you can only be like, I can only pay you like, $25 for the day, that's huge. That's huge to the person, because that's like, I do respect what you do, and I understand like your time is
Valuable.
worth money. But like, this is all I can do, and then hopefully you can just build off of that. Like I just filmed something, and my boyfriend and I that we produced together, and we were just like, from now on we're gonna pay everybody on our crew, no matter how much it is. We have to.
I know.
More so than just paying in food, because paying in food is great. I love food.
I'm not complaining. But
it's just it comes to a point where you're like, yes, like I'm gonna do my best to like give you credit and like show you that like your time is of value to me.
And that's good. It is a token of value that's a physical thing, that you're like, I do value you. I do recognize that you're doing me a favor, and this is what I can offer you. And then, like, I would find like doing that kind of stuff, a lot of people would be like, no, like I'm going to donate it back into the project.
Exactly.
Yeah, and a
But
lot of people
doing
did.
it, like the act of doing it,
Yeah.
then they're like, oh, I'm on board. Let's make a movie, guys.
yeah, definitely.
Good. Okay, so then you, after production started, had reached your $6,000 goal. But like when you guys started shooting the actual web series, not the parody video, you were at how much?
Sorry, say that again. When I was at the parody music, when I was doing the parody.
So you guys, when you were done with production, you told me that you had already reached your $6,000 goal.
Done with production.
After you shot it all.
No, we did everything. I had the 6,000 right before we started.
Oh, right before you started. So
Yeah.
you did make it.
But but we shot Oops, I Did It Again while we were crowdfunding.
Yes. Like,
And we
and
did
was
one
that
of-
as like a means of gaining attention for the crowdfunding?
No, it was just that our crowdfunding got pushed back. So it wasn't ideally supposed to happen, but it was actually a blessing in disguise, because it ended up being one of the biggest marketing tools. Me in this red suit and dancing, and like just like the ridiculous of it all. Yeah, the ridiculousness of it all actually really helped. We needed content. I think that's another thing too. When you're crowdfunding, you have to be in the eye of everyone pretty much daily on Facebook or whatever platform you're on. And so this was really a nice tool to give people a little something, little breadcrumbs to get them excited about what we were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you guys did like a shot for shot.
Yes, we
Like-
did shot for shot. My
great.
brother, so my brother was the editor of our web series, but he's also, he works at a production company in Little Rock, Arkansas. But he is like legitimately like amazing at like almost every aspect of production. And I would like to say we both co-directed this, but I mean, gonna be honest with you, he did everything. I coordinated, I would say I produced this and coordinated the actors, and then he produced, because he also got like all the equipment and then did all the shots.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And so it's basically my brother and I in a studio for 2 days by ourselves, eating quesadillas, making this thing. And then we had some dancers come, some really good friends come Sunday afternoon for like 3 hours. And then but it was long. It was a labor of love.
How long did it take you guys to get that dance down? I remember a couple
we
you
did
were
at
talking
night.
about. You did this at night?
Yeah, so I gave all my friends the video to practice, and then we got maybe like a few days beforehand. We got together for like 2 hours one night before the shoot and did it. And we learned it all together. And I think there's just something to be said about public. Something that's going to be on the internet, you just get it together, right?
Yeah,
you
figure it out.
Yeah, you figure that out. None of us are dancers, but we figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so great. And then this suit, the red jumpsuit that is like iconic in the Oops, I Did It Again video, you had it made by your mom.
By my mama.
Who made a pregnant version.
Yes, she's ridiculously amazing. So she's an amazing seamstress. First class mom. I would just like to say, shout out to mom. You're
Snaps for
amazing.
mom.
Snaps for mama.
Snaps for mom.
Yeah, no, she's just an all around like Renaissance woman. So she did an amazing job doing that. And then my friend Dave Condolora did all the backgrounds. Like the Mars background.
Yeah, it looked great.
Thank you.
It was really, really great. How'd you get in the suit? Is the zipper in the back?
Oh, it laced up just
Okay.
because she made it before. So she was in Connecticut with me in New York, and like she made it like a month before we were shooting, and she's like, I just hope you fit in this by the time you're shooting. So she made a lace up, which my aunt gave her the idea, and like so she was like, in case you expand more than I expect, you got some wiggle room.
In case you wanted to wear it again.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
Hot out. You jumpsuits are in right now.
You know what? I have a confession to make. I never cleaned the suit, and
it's just
it's in
so
my
good.
closet in a black bag on the floor. I'm afraid there's like mold in it.
Don't open the black bag.
I don't want to.
You might just need to say
I'm
goodbye.
nervous. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, your 2-year-old's gonna go in there and be like, Mom, what is this? It's alive.
It's an animal. Yeah, like there's like fungus growing out of it. Yeah, I'm a little afraid. Yeah, I got to get on that.
Yeah,
That stuff doesn't
It's okay,
breathe.
Just drop it in a trash can.
I can't. I've thought about it, but it's just homemade.
Yeah.
by mom.
It's couture.
Just bring, just bring that bag. Just bring it to a dry cleaner and just hand it to him.
just
say, could you clean this
It's
for
all
me?
you.
And then you can it's like a wedding dress, Then you just have it.
which also has not been cleaned. Yeah.
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares? There's a theme. Don't go into my closet.
Yeah, all right.
That's
cool.
the theme.
So I want to know from now finishing this project, it's out in the world, people can see it. Like
Yes.
people can see your art. You did it. Now, what kind of production fails happen that, maybe we don't quite see from what you finished here?
Fails.
Fails.
Every day fails.
Okay.
Every day. I would say maybe, I don't know if there was like a flat out fail, but definitely some challenges. There were like things that I wish maybe went differently.
Yeah.
Okay, so the episode we shot in Central Park was without any crowdfunding. So we shot it with a GoPro, like I was saying, and like on a cell phone, on a stick. And my cousin, who's in high school, was doing sound. And like, that was rough for all of us. I mean, not like it was actually the day of shoot was super fun, but looking at footage and going through sound was like so painful. Everybody did a great job, like did their best, but like having money would help, to do it legitimately. So I would say like that episode for sure is like the ugly stepchild of the series. So I would say like I would love to, and also Rocky, who is my best friend in it. She's an amazing talent, and like just like with the right lighting and the right look, somebody's performance looks so much more legitimate.
Yeah.
Like, and I thought she did amazing in it. But like just to give her that, like for her work, I would have loved that. I'm just trying to think of specific fails. I mean, like there's like little things like pizza guy can't find us, and like there's a moment of drama because we're running late on lunch.
Yeah.
But did you feel like there was any fails on our part?
This is
Tell me what we did wrong.
This is the thing about on the Fly Filmmaking or filmmaking in general is like you have to Tim Gunn it. You have to make it work. You know, like things are always going to come back up, no matter if it's like a multi-million dollar production or a $6,000 production. Things are going to come up, and it's how the people who are your team that you've assembled, how they deal with that problem. That tells you whether you're going to succeed as a whole or fail. But like it's failing fast on the day. Yeah. So like in the end, everything works out. Like, for example, the first day I walked on set.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good to talk about. That was a fail. We could go a little deeper into downtown LA.
I don't think that's a fail because, like, I walked on set and, like, I'm, like, looking for them where they told me to meet them. And I was just looking for Luke because I had never met.
Which is in downtown LA.
Downtown LA. So looking around, whatever, they gave me great directions, even a map. It was wonderful.
We were on it.
They were on it. They were really, really good.
You can hire me again.
Yes, she's wonderful. And I show up and I get and I'm like, okay, I'm here. And Luke's like, yeah, so we had to move. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Where are you guys at? And just like, stand by. And so I'm just kind of like standing in the middle of this like park, kind of like looking around, seeing if I see like any type of film production
look like an
going
actor,
on.
whatever you do.
Trying to not like, look cool at the same time because I'm like meeting these people for the first time and I didn't want to look like a fool. So I'm just like, oh God, please like me. Finally find them and she's just like, oh, hi. So this is the deal. The security guard's not letting us film. So we just got to keep it on the DL. And so we made it work.
So I guess what was a fail is that I thought I could film in downtown LA with all my stuff, with all of our gear. But basically, like we were saying earlier, is that if you don't look professional, you can film there. So we got, instead of having a tripod, we used a suitcase to like put the camera on, and you couldn't have like a nice lens, so we got the tiniest lens possible instead of like various lenses. And then Luke wasn't allowed to have a boom, but we could have
like a lapel mic,
lapel mics, lav mics. And so like we had to like, and yeah, we did get permission to do all that, but it was like, I mean, it actually ended up being fine, but you had to do all these other crazy things to get there. And also you're like, we get one take. One take. We're getting one take and we're getting out of here.
Yeah. And that's something that we've heard come up with, like, exactly like you said, like with the small productions all the way to the big productions. Like every production has this coming on, which is why I word it as a fail, because I just want people to know that, like, to the filmmakers, like when you're doing it, you feel like you're failing, but everyone does it. It's just part of the thing.
Yeah.
It's just part of the thing. Like you have to figure it out as you go, because as much as you pre-plan, something's going to get weird.
Yeah.
When things don't get weird, you're like, what's
extra
going on?
Weird.
like the day when we were at the yoga studio,
it was
went
such an easy day.
So smoothly.
So smoothly.
Smoothly. And everybody was just, and you were even like,
what?
Are we good?
I know. Let's do that take 10 more times, because I feel like we might have lost something.
But it was great. And like, and when you're dealing with that many people, when you're dealing with that many people and everybody's happy, like that's, and everybody's doing their thing, like it was great. It was, no issues.
Yeah.
So, made up for no.
No. I guess it's okay now because we had one smooth shoot.
Yeah, it was all good. It was all good.
Yeah.
It made it more fun. It
was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. But yeah, and I will say too, what's really nice about the indie crew, like people that are just down to make indie stuff, is that they're down. Like if something's messing up, people aren't freaking out, like people aren't like, I'm gonna need more money because I have to stay an hour late, or not that happened, but like it's just like everybody's down to make something good, and like and I like that spirit of like everybody pitching in and doing what they can to make it the best project possible. And I know like when I've been just an actor on the other side and like like filming something in the woods, like everybody's carrying something, like just because you're an actor doesn't mean you're just like chilling out, like everybody's doing it, and like I like that. I like that too. That's where I love working on projects of that level, and also with like bigger ones as well, but Yeah.
On that level, there's just like a different game.
Yeah.
And then when you come out the other side, there's a different level of pride where everyone's like, ha, remember when we did that? Remember when we were sitting in the forest in the cold in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
But if you're on a union shoot, do not touch the equipment.
Yeah.
You will get yelled at.
Don't do it.
Don't
do it.
touch it. You don't move a prop. Don't do anything.
Somebody's paid to do that.
Yes, and it's not you.
Awesome. So do you have any tips and tricks for indie filmmakers or people who are embarking on their first web series?
I heard this advice a long time ago just from somebody. I was watching something, sorry, that's really not specific, but what they said impacted me was, you know, we weren't filmmakers until we were. And if you have that idea, like, believe in it and do it. You know, and I think that was actually the biggest thing for me is like, you know, like if you think through everything before you start, you're not going to do it. And if you just love your idea and you're passionate about it, you will figure it out along the way. It's just the matter of that little, like, deciding. And so, like, I think that's actually, like, the most major key. Like, just having that attitude of, like, we got this. We can do it.
Yeah, because you can. And, you know, in the end, if it's not exactly what you thought, like, because it's not going to be.
No.
It's not going to be. No matter what, it's not going to be. But you'll finish a project. So, like, this is something that I've been, like, preaching to myself is, like, you want to create, you want to release, and you want to repeat it. Because you want to get to be able where you can repeat it. Because this one project, whether it's, like, the most brilliant thing or the most awful thing, it's not the last project you ever have to do. It is not the project that will define you. You can continue to create.
Yeah.
Do it, learn, do it again.
And that's like another good thing about crowdfunding is like once you like, it's kind of like when you go on a diet and you post your before on like social media, like then you're committed. Like, you have asked people for money at this point. They expect to see something. So like crowdfunding is almost like the best like fails it because like you have to do it now.
I know. I actually think that is very true. Is like make your stuff public because then there's like this. You're sharing it with
It's
your
an
friends.
accountability.
It's very very real. And yeah, that pressure. I think that's when Jess and I were like just about to crowdfund. I was like, once I release this, we're doing this. Like because she's been a huge part, like my writing partner, her and my brother Chris, who was the editor and directed with me. They've been like key in the marketing afterwards and everything. I was like, once we do this, like there's no turning back. Like, are you guys ready? And like, because like once you put it out there, it's done. And that's good. And it's good.
You did it, and it's out there, and you guys can watch it, so definitely go check it out, pregnantthewebseries.com. You can also find them on Facebook. Give them all the views everywhere. Watch it. They're like 4-minute episodes. Watch them everywhere. Find them all over the internet. Give them all the views. Share it with your friends.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, all right, so let everybody know where they can find you guys on social media.
Instagram, it's KDP.
All over the interwebs.
Yeah, I need to start saying that. Just Google Kristen Dellapace and Keetin Marchi, which looks like Marchi.
But like Marky Mark, but it's Marquis because it's Italian. Marchi.
Marchi.
How do you spell your name, just so we know?
Dellapace. Dellapace. Dellapace.
Dellapace? We've been saying it wrong the whole time?
No, it's in America we say Dellapace.
It's like Marchi. You say Marchi. You don't say Marchi. Like, then it's like what's that cooking the cooking lady that always Giada. She like literally everything. I'm like, you don't have an Italian accent. Why are you saying everything with an Italian accent?
Just be hot and stop.
Just be hot and stop. All right, guys. I'm Marielou Mandl. We'll see you next time on the Fly Filmmaking.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.